All right. Well, sometimes you start things off on the wrong foot, and that's what I did today. So let me get this gentleman's name correct, and then I will. Yeah, I think his name is Matthew Bobko, the bass player for formerly of Gel. I was doing this in haste while at the post office, or at least getting prepped, anyways. And I put the wrong image on the thumbnail, and I removed it from everything. But I just wanted to apologize. That sucks, and that's not cool, man. That's ass, dude. That would be I would hate to be in that position. So I just wanted to apologize to you for doing that, and you know I put a lot of content out, and I don't know everybody that I'm always talking about, which is sometimes why I do this to begin with. So I make mistakes occasionally. It is what it is. You have to own it, or you know, why be like, oh, I didn't do it. Whatever, man. People, you're gonna get mad no matter what you do. So let's talk about some of the drama going on within the hardcore scene right now. Let me be very, very clear about all this. I don't know all these bands. All right, this was stuff that was just being sent to me by like a lot of people. Okay, so this is how you end up making a mistake: is that you'll talk about something that you're not necessarily familiar with the people involved, which is why I'm trying to do it this way and not, excuse me, another way. I want to just read this stuff with you guys, and we can kind of, you know, talk about it that way. I don't. I'm assuming that, and whatever. I just I know some of this stuff is facts. So yeah, I guess I'll just say if I think something's speculation, I will say so. I don't know. This is crazy, man. All this stuff's happening all at one time with all these bands, and it's absolutely insane. What's up, BP? How you doing? It's just crazy that we have so many bands going through stuff like this, and I don't like. Why is it happening? My thing isn't even that it's like why is this happening? Why is this happening? I think that part of it is that it's not necessarily happening more like in a percentage. I think it's we just have more people and we have more bands, thus more bad behavior. But like why? Like why do people think that they can behave this way? It sucks, man. Um, let's see here. Okay, so the Zulu dude, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and skip talking about that fella because I genuinely know nothing about him. I just keep hearing that there's all these allegations. So I should probably, you know what? Let's just look it up, dude. Whatever. I'll just Google it because I, let's see. I didn't know who the people in jail looked like, but I was hearing a bunch of stuff about them, and then I obviously know quite a bit about soft kill. Not quite a bit, but a fair bit about soft kill. I don't typically, excuse me, cover stuff like this because it's not really what I enjoy talking about, but I do think it needs to be brought to light. I don't think it needs to be ignored or brushed under the rug. And for that reason, I will talk about it because I think if you're doing stuff that is gross, be it of a abuse nature or theft or lying or whatever, it all sucks and none of it needs to happen. You need to get called out for it. So that's the only reason I'm going to cover this kind of topics occasionally. I ignored it when it was one. I ignored it when it was two. And then there's like three things have happened in the course of like 2 weeks, and it's blowing my mind, man. Um, yeah, man. Let's see. Let me do the other ones first while I'm looking up stuff for Zulu because I had an article, I can't find it, which is really fucking irritating. Here we go. Los Angeles hardcore band Zulu parts with singer after abuse allegations. The Zulu, the acclaimed LA hardcore punk band, has parted ways with their singer, founding member Anaya Muhammad after another artist alleged he abused them. This week, the musician Simpson posted on Instagram that in April of last year, we had an encounter that was initially consensual, which resulted in me being so traumatized I was gaslit by him into thinking I was on my period until I was able to visit a healthcare provider after a subsequent encounter where he choked me so hard it left a big bruise near my neck down to part of my collarbone, and I knew after showing it to someone that I needed help immediately. So that's what I read initially when I saw this, and I was like, what? And then when you go on this person's Instagram, let's see. Okay, they have a long, long, long thing that they wrote. I'm not going to read it all out right now because I think that that would just take an enormous amount of time. Joe are the call callers, right? Wasn't it? Whoa, wow, that's crazy. Bands seemingly can't behave right now. It's really frustrating and it's sad. Um, Let me be very clear. If you're abusing anyone or you're doing gnarly behavior like stealing and taking things from people, lying to your, I don't support people that do that stuff. I can't. I'm not going to put them on my channel unless I'm putting them on blast like this, I guess. But the Zulu was a band that I knew very little about. I think I'd heard them a couple times. Didn't really care for the music, so I just kept on, kept on moving. But Gel, I liked their music a decent amount, not enough to like own their records, but I carried them in the store. So when I saw the Gel thing, I was really bummed out. And then also the Soft Kill thing, because I also carried Soft Kill records in the store. Now, my issue is that I don't want to support these artists, and it gives you like a, what's it, what do they call that when you come to a fork in the road? I have a decision to make. Do I keep the records in the store or do I toss them? And it's like, man, if I know for one I won't be ordering anymore, right? That's an easy decision to make. I think the hard decision is like, what do I do with the ones that I've got? I don't have a ton, but I do have a few records, and I think maybe I should just break them all in half and throw them in the trash can. These guys' response was wild. Said he was Muslim and wouldn't do things because it's against his religion, as if all religions don't have bad people in them. That's crazy to say that because you're Muslim you can't be accused of something like that. And if that dude was a Christian saying that, he would have been torched. Jeez Louise, dude. But I don't know the guy either. So let's see here. Simpson also says, knowing something was deeply, deeply wrong, I began sharing my experience and feelings with people who may know of someone else harmed by Anaya, and I uncovered an extensive, horrifying pattern of abuse I was the last victim in. In a statement, Muhammad wrote that I want to start by saying that I categorically, deny ever engaging in any form of physical abuse. Violence towards anyone, especially partners, is completely against my values, and I would never harm anyone. The claims against me are not only untrue, but also deeply damaging to me, my loved ones, my band, and those who have supported me throughout my life. I want to make it absolutely clear that I've never engaged in any form of coercion, manipulation, or isolation towards this individual. At no point have I ever tried to control her environment, interfere with her personal life, or restrict her in any way. The remaining members of Zulu announced the band was going on hiatus and offered a lengthy response to the allegations. They said, "We are aware of these allegations brought forth against Anaya. We stand in solidarity with all people who are victims of abuse and condemn the mistreatment of those vulnerable in our communities. Our hearts go out to anyone who has experienced any form of physical or emotional abuse, assault, or any other act that has caused harm and taken their agency away from them," they wrote. Other members of Zulu have separated ourselves from Anaya and will no longer be working with or performing with him in any capacity. We want to acknowledge the allegations were never disclosed to us prior, and we were immediately concerned reading the detailed account. We understand that this has been extremely upsetting and disappointing to anyone who supported this band, its message, and what it's represented. Upon our return home, we have withdrawn from scheduled performances and will be officially putting this project on pause. The band has canceled all upcoming tour dates, including a high-profile run opening for Refused on their final North American tour this year. Damn, that's crazy. Can you imagine? Can you just imagine for a second being in a band like this and not knowing much about this kind of stuff? Like having, like, look, I don't know that they necessarily knew he was doing anything, right? And as far as I'm concerned, they parted ways with him, which is pretty damning. But as of what I'm reading right here, I don't know if there's been any further proof of anything, so I don't know. But it's pretty bad, right? But it doesn't mean that they knew anything. And can you imagine being in a band not knowing something was like that was happening, finding out, and then like, what do you do? Like, it just like he's to blame for a lot of people being miserable. It seems, that sucks, dude. Beautiful Planet says each of these bands popped up in my feed, but I never checked them out. Good to see bad behavior addressed, though, for sure. Skunk says hate it when this stuff happens. Like when I found out the singer of Pressure Point was a convicted pedo, it sucked. Damn, I didn't know about that either. That's ass, dude. Really? Oh wow, that's crazy. I don't think I own anything by Pressure Point right now. Guess I won't be. I need to look into that and make sure first, though. I mean, I don't know you, Skunk, so I'm not saying you're wrong or anything, but that's a wild ass thing to happen, though. That's crazy. Convicted. Oh, throw that dude fucking in the trash, bro. If that's what he's doing, that's disgusting. Fuck, bro. All right, so let's see here. I mean, people are still pissed off that SZA's being able to perform right now. You know what I'm saying? All right, so okay. Here's the gel thing I was looking at. Okay. So gel literally just breaks the up, dude. Yeah, bro. That's right, Nitty. The rare one. This has been something that I wasn't even going to cover this stuff, but I was asked by multiple people, and then today a friend of mine actually said, hey, you should probably talk about this. And I was like, ugh. So, again, to be very clear, I don't really like talking about this stuff. I don't typically do it, but this kind of behavior needs to be blasted, man. These people don't need to be able to do this kind of stuff and then hide because people don't want to talk about it. I don't want to be a drama-filled channel. 99.9% of my content will always remain punk rock music related, but unfortunately, I do feel like if you're doing stuff like this, you need to be shitted on publicly. You got to be called out, man. But yeah, this is pretty rare conversation for me on this channel. I don't really care for talking about it, if I'm honest, because I don't, the truth is that we don't really know until we know, and then it's ugh. So Gel cancels all shows, breaks up, and accuses guitarist of horrific behavior. That's wild. New Jersey hardcore band Gel was set to have an amazing 2025. The band just released their new EP Persona back in August of 2024 and was slated to tour with both Spirit Box and Volbeat throughout this year. Unfortunately, none of that is happening anymore, and the band has broken up. I mean, those two bands, I wouldn't want to tour with them either. But, I mean, I'm kidding, right? In a lengthy statement, Gel states that their former guitarist Anthony Webster, who is to blame, Gel accuses Webster of stealing tens of thousands of dollars, posting nude photos of the band's members on the internet, spending band funds on OnlyFans, put the band in physically dangerous situations numerous times, quote unquote, and more. It's pretty bad if it's all true. Gel's full statement can be found right here. Hey everyone, friends and fans. This is Gel speaking, by the way. Gel is no longer a band. Womp womp. And that's not funny. I should have said that, sorry. And therefore will not be playing any of our currently scheduled upcoming shows. The reason is pretty simple at its core. The former guitar player, Anthony Webster, has committed such heinous acts in trying to forward himself in his music career that he's done irreparable damage to the band in the process, and it's affected us as human beings more than we can even attempt to explain, to the point of being completely unable to do the band anymore. Here are some examples of what he has done. He's stolen tens of thousands of dollars from us, and the best part is that he left it all on record for us to eventually find. He spent it on his own rent, personal food orders, and really whatever else he wanted to, because for a long period of time, no one had access to the bank account, or any accounts for that matter, but him. That's crazy. Despite numerous attempts to gain access, because, we're a band, and we should all have access to those things. Oh yeah, he also spent it on a truly unbelievable number of OnlyFans purchases and mysterious Cash App transactions, likely in the same lane. That's crazy. He posted nude images of band members on Reddit for the world to see. Yep, just casually for who knows what purpose. Let that one really sink in. He did that all while still in a band with us, too, by the way. Luckily, he's truly terrible at covering up his tracks, so we have the receipts to prove that one, too. He put us in physically dangerous situations numerous times, from talking shit on the band Twitter and getting our van window smashed with a baseball bat to regularly driving erratically like a psychopath because he was upset for, again, who knows what reason. Oh yeah, he wouldn't let anyone else drive either, by the way, so we had to just deal with it. Good grief. He threw things at us because he's a little fucking baby and can't handle himself like an adult. It was always the same with him. Absolute misery and inconsideration for anyone and everyone around him. Well, except for the people who he wanted to impress and would feign being a nice guy to. LOL. Now, I'm sure a lot of people are thinking, well, why didn't you just stop dealing with it? Why didn't you just leave? If you've ever been in an abusive relationship, emotionally and or physically, you'll probably understand this better. It's like that, but with your life's work and passion at the forefront as well. It's not easy. It's not so easy to just give something up so that you something you care about so much, especially with pressures from outside organizations, people, etc., that are all counting on you in some way. We wish that this could have all been easier, and we wish it didn't have to end this way. We were fighters, though, and we saw it through to the very end until it simply couldn't go on anymore, and we're proud of that. On that note, we'd like to send our most sincere and deepest apologies to anyone who this is affecting on a personal level and beyond. We know so many people were counting on us, including Spiritbox, Volbeat, and our good friends, and Anxious. We are so sorry that we have to end it this way, and we truly hope for the best for all of you. Thank you so much to the friends we've made over the years, and thank you so much to our fans who for always being there for us and showing us how much you care. Take care of each other, and we love you, friends. Look, I'm usually one that's like, I need context or whatever, but like, fuck, dude. That's an awful lot of like very specific like allegations, right? Like, and then they're saying they got proof. I don't imagine they would say that without having the proof, because that would be pretty crazy. Although, damn, they added that part in just for me. I'm the asshole wondering why not split quicker, says JJ. Although I understand that my sister, one of my sisters had a abusive relationship, and it didn't end until I got physically involved, and even then it was like not just an immediate thing. So when you're being abused, you typically it's an emotional. It does a lot to your brain. It rewires you. It's weird. You feel like you can't go anywhere because you're like, well, what happens if I go? It's like the fear of change, And I'm not speaking for everybody because I don't know everybody thinks the same way, but I know that's a very common way of looking at things. My concern is like, it's not even a concern. Like, why is this happening? Why are people being so crappy? Is it like, because I'm kind of a optimistic dude, so people are like, I feel like they're inherently, I'm so torn with that word, inherently. I've been caught saying that people are inherently selfish before, and people argued with me about that, and they said that's not true. I don't know, man. Isn't it though? Like, aren't we kind of like gross just inherently, and then like you have to work really hard at being good? Or is it like we're all good and then sometimes you just have bad people? Like, what's the deal here? It seems to be happening an awful lot more. I think that part of it is that we have social media now, so it's harder to hide when you're being a scumbag. And I think if you're being a scumbag, you should be called out for it. Now, that dude in Zulu, like choking that girl, that's crazy, right? There's a lot less detail in what. Well, I don't know. I didn't read that whole thing, so never mind. But all this behavior is wild, man. And if they're kicking dudes out of the band for that, like, I don't know. There can't be, fuck, dude. This is ass, man. What's up, Megan? I feel for the band members. I feel for the victims mostly, obviously, right? But even their fans have to deal with this crap, dude. Like, can you imagine saving up for some big tour or something, and you get to go see, like, you're young and you only get to see one or two things a year, and one of these bands is the ones you like, and then you go see them and you spend all your money, you buy a couple of shirts. That's all the money you've got. You get home, you're so excited, you got a new record and a shirt and this story about this awesome show, and then this shit happens. This happens, dude. This is what you got to deal with. The band you love. This is what happened with me and Anti-Flag, man. I didn't want to believe it for so long, and then you just get so much crap piled on. You're like, how could that not be true, right? Yeah, please hit the like button, please. I'm really tired still. Dude, this week wiped me out last week in LA, dude. I'm still tired, but I'm good, though. Please hit the like button if you wouldn't mind. The punk and hardcore scene is full of mental illness. I will say that is an accurate statement. I think the people that don't understand that misunderstand who is drawn to punk and hardcore. It's not an excuse, but it is something we need to be aware of. We need to be aware of that there's a lot of, like, gnarly figures within punk and hardcore and metal too, I would think, because that kind of music and this kind of culture is magnetic to people that have, and I'm one of them. I had a lot of problems growing up, man. I'm 11 and a half years clean, but I can't even get knee surgery because I'm too afraid of being on dope, And So it does draw in a lot of people that have a lot of problems. And no excuses should be made, but that needs to be watched carefully. Be around the people when you're around the people you're hanging out with, be aware of their behavior, man. And if you see something that you need to speak up on it. And it sucks, dude. If it sucks, it sucks. Oh well. But like, think about the person that's being victimized. If they're there and you're seeing something like, fuck, dude, like you gotta say something, right? BP says, I figured with your spirituality you'd agree we're all inherently good, but some make the wrong choices and choose not to address mental health problems. They stray from that. I mean, no, I don't think that we're all good. I don't even understand my own spirituality, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I can't remember, Megan. Let's see. Yeah, it is full of mental. Thank you. Cobra says that's exactly what you meant by the mental illness thing. It's like it's just so like soft kill, Megan. I want to talk about them too. He was the middle dude on the thing because that one pisses me off because I was a fan of that band. So this is the one that affects me the most, which is why he was the front and center on the thumbnail, dude. I liked Soft Kill. I saw him play twice and like, uh, dude, crazy man. Beautiful Planet says, not saying we're all good, LO, just so we start that way and things. I mean, sure, if you want to say that we all start because we all start as babies, but I guess. Yeah, I guess, but that's kind of what I was saying. You're saying basically what I was saying. But, whatever. Oh man. All I know is that this stuff is stupid. This whole shit is dumb. It makes me so angry. Because like we need music, man. We need this stuff, dude. We need the music. We need shit. There's a reason why it's so important to us. Sorry, 1 second. I can't type and talk. Let's see. Lamb Go, here we go. This is what I was looking for. Okay, Dennis, take it forever. Okay. Let's hear for cookies, yay. Okay, what I was going to say is that, like, all of us as people that probably are suffering from mental illness or depression or whatever, like we look to this music for like important reasons. Like it's like therapeutic, you know what I'm saying? So like we need this stuff. We need these bands. We need these artists, and we need them to behave as adults and be kind. And I understand like a small mistake, but like habitual behavior, no, there's no excuse for that. And I'm not perfect, so I'm not out here trying to say that I am. So I'm just, Beautiful Planet says, I choose to have a positive outlook on humanity, and that's coming from seeing some low lows and having a lot of pessimism. Then, yeah, go for it, man. I would choose to look a little more realistically. Mind Eraser Record says, Soft Kill has always sucked. Well, that is your opinion, sir. They weren't the best band, but I enjoyed them. And I liked the young lady, Nicole, that was in the band. She's cool. JJ says, we are animals at our core, as advanced as we are. We have those animal instincts that lead us to do whatever makes us feel good or safe. Some of us control those instincts and some don't. Jeff, what's up, dude? Man, the shit with Tobias is actually stressing me out. I'm not really sure what's going on, but I feel like I got the gist of it. It seems like he was putting his hands on women. That's what as far as I understand it, which is absolutely unacceptable. So, what the fuck, dude? There we go. Here we go. Okay. Holy shit. Wow, this is crazy. Okay. So, I didn't expect to see this on here. It says, John Hammer, vocalist for Empire Now, made a post on Instagram calling out Soft Kill's Tobias Francis for abuse. His full statement reads, now I definitely saw this, but I wasn't expecting to see this on Lamb Goat. He says, I kept my lips sealed long enough. I gave warnings to other homies and bands and was trying to watch out for people I respect because I didn't want anybody getting ripped off or stolen from. all the while having shit talked about me, lies told about me, attempts at getting old beef started up again with folks that were too smart for the troglodyte. Fuck all this lip sealed bullshit. Fuck this woman beating, abusive, lying, stealing, shit talking, culture vulture piece of shit. Tobias Francis from Softkill is a woman beater. Hope you rot. You wannabe skin chameleon. Get fucked, bitch. Eat shit, cocksucker. He's angry. Shout out to John from Empire Down for being the homie. That's my guy. Okay, he also posted a screenshot to his Instagram story providing further details. Allegedly, Francis has a history of abuse and completely manufactured his entire punk image while having a rich family and stealing from other bands. So I read that on Reddit today while waiting in line at the post office. It was nuts, the shit I was reading. I was reading on Reddit that he was like stealing, like he would take pre-orders for records that were coming out and never shipping them. He was like putting his hands on women. I talked to somebody that told me like verbatim those words they used. Yes, it's all true. He's a scumbag piece of shit. The band's broken up. That's crazy. That's crazy. JJ says, it's a lot. Nepo baby, woman beater, liar, poser, fake, recovering addict, etc. That's crazy. What is PDX? I don't know what PDX is. I'm not familiar with these people. I'm from Texas, bro. I never really traveled much, so there's a lot of people that I'm not super familiar with. I only knew him as the dude from Softkill. Who is Toby Francis? Why do I know that name? Wait, what? That screenshot was reposted from Ian from Lost Legion's post. Oh, damn. Oh, Portland. Sorry. Thank you. He ripped people off in Portland. Okay, that's what I was reading on Reddit, that he was ripping people off in Portland. Dude, what the fuck is going on with people, dude? Look, I know that like dudes like Rick to Life, he's like notorious in the hardcore scene for being a shit scumbag. I typically try to like stay away from people like that. Wait. Hold on. Is Toby Francis the dude that did, is he like a recording engineer? I know that name. See, this is part of the reasons why I don't cover stuff like this, is because I don't really know all these people. So I saw that it was one dude that I knew and used to like, a band that I thought was all right, and then a whole nother ass band that I didn't know much about. And I was like, dude, all within a couple of weeks, huh? These people are out here wilding out, being crazy, disgusting pieces of shit. He is the engineer, huh? Whoa. What the fuck? That's crazy. Hold on. What has he done? So this dude really is a rich kid. What the F? Yeah, dude. Katy Perry, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Ariana Grande, ZZ Top, Justin Bieber. So, like, wow. The Midwest was not familiar with Toby's past. We are now. Lots of Midwest folks caught on to his shit last year. Not welcome here anymore. That's so crazy. Lost Legion's the shit, by the way. Shout out Lost Legion. Dude. I'm like disgusted by this stuff, man. Sorry, one second. Trying to do 3 things at once. Anyways, okay, sorry. Yeah, man. So for somebody that was like putting his hands on women, like, I don't know, dude. I've never been through that because A, I'm a man, and B, I've never touched a woman like that. Like I've had arguments. I've lied. I can very happily, confidently, pleasurably say I have never hit a woman. Oh shit! Did I hit somebody in high school? I don't remember. I can barely remember high school. I've never been a woman beater. I can tell you that. Yeah, I don't think I've ever hit a woman for any reason. I think I probably talked a lot of shit in high school. But like, no, I've never been like a woman abuser of any kind, man. That shit is wild to me. I don't want nobody doing that to me either, though. Like, I don't want to get punched in the head by some woman, and like, then you know, man, I'm so far from perfect. I'm not even like I'm okay sometimes. Like I try to be a good person. I try to be like trustworthy, and I tell people what's what the real deal is. I try to live by the things that I talk about. If I tell you I'm going to do something, I try to get it, make sure it gets done within a timely manner. Like I said, I don't understand being like this, people. I don't understand treating people like this. I don't understand treating people that you love. And there's no excuse. Well, hurt people, hurt people. Okay, but you still have a choice. You still get to choose to go hurt that person. It's crazy, dude. Like, if you have a bad temper, get help. If you're a habitual liar, get help. The two words that mean the most to me right now: get help. Get help. Dude, if you need to talk to me, if you're just angry, dude, hit me up, man. It's not worth hurting people, disappointing your friends and family, alienating yourself, and screwing yourself. It's not worth any of that shit. Most importantly, it's not worth hurting the people. Like I said. Fuck, dude, this is so crazy. Rusty says he could be president of the U.S. with that record. I mean, you're not wrong. Jeff says, man, I had a discussion with a homie the other day. Can you separate the art from the artist? It's a dilemma I think about all the time. I'm not excusing anyone at all. I don't typically separate the art from the artist, no. If you're doing that shit, I don't want to support you. Nope. No, sir. Separating the art from the artist is a cop-out. There's plenty of music out there. You don't need to listen to Soft Kill. You don't need to listen to... It sucks, man. Although, it's also a personal decision, man. You do what you want to do. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm telling you that wasn't me telling you what to do. That's me telling you how I think. No. I know you're not arguing that. Yeah. Scott says it right there. I think it depends on the severity of the issue. Like, as an example, I don't watch Kevin Spacey stuff anymore, right? Because I can't watch it without thinking of it. I will never listen to R. Kelly again. But I don't necessarily turn off Michael Jackson songs because I don't know the facts. But I don't listen to Michael Jackson either. But, Mind Racer record says, on a real note, gossiping and spilling tea is fun, but there's some real victims in this shit. We got to do better for our homegirls. That's the only reason I'm even talking about that, man. For sure. And I know it. I mean, go look at my track record. I don't typically talk about shit like this very often. It's not really I don't really like it, honestly. Like, at this point, I'm just kind of repeating things. So I'm about to get off here anyways. But it does need to be talked about. They do need to be embarrassed, and they need to have every single person that can talk about it, like, publicly, and shame them to do so, at least in my opinion. Because if there's no fear of public shame, then people tend to act a lot worse. At least that's the way I look at it. Maybe I'm tripping, but JJ says the process of change hurts, but not as much as that destructive path will. For sure. I gotta organize my records and clean up my office and talk about these new Before Dawn albums that just showed up. Excuse me, I'm very proud of that. But yeah, man, to anybody that's dealing with anything out there, abuse of any kind, my Instagram is always available. If you want to hit me up, my email address is in the description of all my videos. I won't ignore you if you need to talk, as long as I see it. Email is probably the easiest way to get a hold of me because Instagram tends to hide a lot of the requests. But reach out if you want. I don't gotta talk. I can just hang out and let you vent a little bit. You need a phone number, I'll help you find one. You got a friend anywhere in Texas that's acting fucked up, we can go handle the business. Not like, I'm not some tough guy. I'm just saying, like, I'll show up physically and be there for you. Like, it's not okay, man. This stuff is not okay. We can't let people behave this way. Shit, this sucks ass, dude. Thank you. I appreciate you, bro. And I'm not holier than thou, dude. This just bothers me. It just sucks, man. I've made mistakes. I'm 43 though, but I'm married. I got kids. I got a business. I love this stuff. I love punk rock. I love this community. I love this community. Like right here, this one right here, us, I love this community. I want to be here for everybody if I can. You know, as we grow, it's going to become harder and harder. But right now, I'm still able to, you know, respond to most comments and talk to people. And I respond to every email I get. I don't know, man. I got a little girl, dude. I got a wife. You touch my family, dude, I will go to jail on that shit. I don't want to, but I'm not scared of it. No. My kids, dude, you steal from my son? Like, what are we doing, man? No, stop. The thing is that most people don't realize that when they need something, and need is a very tricky word too. I don't mean like you want to go spend some money on OnlyFans, but like you need something. You need some food or some clothing or whatever, man. You need help getting a ride somewhere. People will help you if you ask. But if you don't ask and you just take from people, you won't get anywhere. And if you're out there hitting women and stuff, bro, once you found out, man, most of the world won't be fucking with you no more. You know? And if you're out there dealing with that as a woman, please get help when it's, you know, when it's something you need, please get help. I was abused as a child, right, by a grown babysitter, right? I don't like talking about it much, but it is what it is. It wasn't my fault. I didn't do anything wrong. I was a little bitty kid. I never spoke up on it. And I should have. So I'll talk about it now, even though it's embarrassing, so that maybe people will hear me say that I've been through something, you know? And then maybe it'll give them a little bit of encouragement or strength to go and get some help, because that's the most critical thing that I think you could do is go get help like immediately. And I know people go, oh, that, you know, I won't be believed. Sorry, I got like something on my face. Girls are like, I've heard girls say like they don't believe me when I go tell the police or whatever, right? I don't know, but they're never going to get a chance to believe you if you don't go tell them. So as much as I hate the cops, I also hate abuse more. Or, well, they kind of do the abuse. So, like, not even kind of. I think my point is being made. If you need help, at least attempt to go get it, okay? Or call your homeboys up. Call your brother. Call your dad. Like, they are meant to defend you. So, anyways. What's up, George? One day you might hit a Lorena Bobbitt dangerous game. Oh, thank you, Megan. I was little too, man. Like maybe less than 10, 8 maybe. Yeah, it was like I had a babysitter that was like my mom's friend, and she had a grown son, and he was a monster. He was a fucking monster. I'll tell you that, man. Fucking monster. Fuck that dude. You know, it is what it is, man. Coco Ray says, Punk Rock Saves Lives is a great organization for our scene. They can help. I forgot about them. Yes, I need to get them on the show just to talk and promote their cause. George says, I haven't heard about Gel. That sucks because I love that band. Yeah, dude, all this shit sucks, man. It sucks, dude. It sucks. Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate you, bro. Yeah, it's hard to talk about because I'm like, man, it's so insane. Like, if I think about it for too long, I'll have like nightmares and shit. Rusty says, that's so true about not being believed if you don't speak up. Yeah. You diligent. You might find a diligent cop. Correct. So you have to go talk to them, man. But look, dude, we only hear about the bad cops. There are some good cops out there. It's impossible for them to exist and not have some good ones, or at least exist in the way that they exist now. All right. I mean, we've seen videos of that judge in Harris County. That's a good dude. There are good people out there within positions of power. Right. They may be few and far between, but they exist. If you need help, go talk to some, or talk to me, man. I will go do this on your behalf. I will go down and talk to people. I will get something figured out. If you need to come sleep on my office floor, man, if, you know, please don't rob me. But, like, seriously, though, if you need a place to crash, like, you have to get away from that shit. Watching that dude hit my sister, bro, I get so angry thinking about it. And, like, it ended in violence on my part. I got a scar permanently on my body from that. I don't give a shit. It is what it is, man. You can't treat people like that, dude. And Tobias from Softkill putting his hands on women, man. All his mystique and shit. It makes me so angry, dude. And it's funny too because I always had a weird feeling about that guy because he was a dickhead to me a couple of times. Like, oh, not dickhead, but like snooty, like he snubbed me, and I just thought like that was weird. But like I was like, yeah, that guy's kind of a weirdo. It comes out he is a weirdo, man. I'm like, fuck, dude, that sucks, man. Dude, they put on a great show. The Nicole that was in Soft Kill, I don't know her real well, but she was very nice to me. I saw her in LA and talked to her for a little bit, so I hope she's doing well. I don't know if that's who was his partner. I don't know, so I don't know who they're talking about in this article. So I'm not gonna, you know. You're only Human Target says I'm only going to listen to Soft Kill's first album now. I see what you did there. Fuck that first album. I'm assuming you're just talking shit and joking, but that always bothered me. Their first album wasn't like that. They didn't become racist until the 80s. Stop, bro. Stop. They didn't announce it publicly until then. At least in my opinion, you don't just magically become that. What are y'all's thoughts on that? Do you magically become racist one day? I guess you can be kind of like a dumb yokel and get convinced to behave a certain way, but I feel like if that's not in your soul at all, if like you're just not like that, I just don't think anybody can convince you to be that way. I can't. You can't. You couldn't convince me, dude. You could have all the cards stacked up against a certain community, and I would still not just be, oh yeah, because this person looks like that, there's something. Like, that's crazy to me. Racism is not, if you're a little kid and you're brought up around that stuff, it's going to be real hard to not behave that way, but you can still do it. Now, I didn't grow up around my dad because he was a deadbeat and wasn't, I miss my father. Okay, I'm not going to act like I don't, but he was not a good dad. And he left when I was 5, but he was a weird, like, racist type. He was brought up in Vidor, Texas. And then on the same coin, my mom, other side of the token, my mom also brought up in Vidor, Texas. Doesn't think like that. It disgusts her because her parents behaved that way. So, like, if you don't want to behave that way, you don't have to. That's my point. I don't know. This is such a gray area conversation, though. With like, people, like, how you can be brought up. It's just there's so many factors is my point. Like, it's crazy. Caffeinated says, I suppose it could be a matter of circumstances. Look at Germany during the 1930s. People were struggling and scapegoating comes in real fast. Wait, what? I don't know that I know what you mean exactly. I'm just rambling at this point. I'm super disappointed in all these people. And I feel bad for their victims first and foremost. But I feel bad for their band members and their fans too. Like, it just sucks all the way around, dude. Like, that sucks, man. Like, I want to be fans of these bands. I want to support these, like, bands. I want to go to the shows and buy merch. I want to... Fuck, dude. Wait, what? My boy had that first album with a crossed out as his profile pic for a bit. I don't know what you mean. You're talking about Tobias? JJ says, it's possible, but typically it requires someone to already feel a certain way about a group. That feeling can be amplified to hate easily. Yeah. I mean, you can have, like, weird, what's it called? When you... stereotype. You can feel, like, stereotypically about somebody, right? That's a sketchy line you're walking, But I think everybody kind of does that a little bit to a degree. But, like, I was on a tangent you went about racism and stuff, but I'm not endorsing it. Okay. Yeah, there's like a lag between what I'm saying and what you're typing, so it's I'll get confused sometimes. My apologies. Yeah, I just think that, look, if you truly don't want to behave that way, now when you're talking about something like Germany, that's different, man. Those people were made to behave that way, and then when you do it long enough, it probably just becomes part of you. I mean, they probably were, if they were supporting the Jews, they probably were lumped in with them, right? So how do you expect some young 17-year-old military-age boy to behave that way, right? I'm not speaking on that. I'm talking about, like, right now, 2025, if you don't want to be a racist asshole, you don't have to be. You could just be nice to people. It's crazy, man. And I know you weren't endorsing any kind of weird behavior like that. Um, yeah, world is gross, man. People are disgusting. Be careful who your heroes are. I gotta listen to my own advice here, you know. I've had bands that I listened to, or even like actors, comedians, all that shit that I liked a lot, and then they just ended up behaving poorly, and it was like, what? But this is the thing: is you can change your mind. If you like somebody, cool. If they start acting like a shit, you can just not like them anymore. You know what I'm saying? That's the beauty of it. Whenever Kevin Spacey was like sexually harassing and touching boys, what do you think I did? I was like, nah, I can't watch this anymore. Like, I can barely sit through a movie that he's even in for a minute or two. Like, I've had to tell my friends that we do like a movie podcast together. I don't want to watch that. I don't like him, dude. I can't. It's like even movies like Seven, where he's barely in it. It bothers me when it comes on, but it's hard to hold yourself to your own standards. It's really hard. You gotta. It sucks. Sometimes you gotta just. I haven't watched Seven in probably a decade, but I mentioned it for a second. I'm like, what's a good ass movie? But you know, do I want to support the art that guy's made? Not really. No. I don't know. I'm done jabbering, man. This is a disgusting thing that's happening. I'm sorry for anybody that was harmed. I hope that anybody that's watching this feels comfortable emailing me if you need to. And everybody that hangs out on my channel, thank you. There is no room for this shit in our scene. None. If you touch women in any unwanted way, if you steal, if you lie, if you cheat, dude, get out, man. Like, just go. Like, once you get found out, it's going to be worse. So just leave. And fucking stop behaving like that. Anyways. I'm going to go get ready for this other video to drop. I have a really, really wonderful interview with a really wonderful person to drop in here in about 40 minutes. So I'm going to get ready for that. Hope you all had a great day. Otherwise, sorry for anybody that's fans of these bands to have to hear this crap. It sucks. But, I'm even more sorry for people who had to go through it. But this is stupid, man. Fucking grow up, people. Behave right. Treat people right. Please.